the dreaded scale. That is probably the number one thing I get asked about with my clients. And even with my team is, people are asking, why is the scale not going down? Why is this happening? And I just, first of all, I want to say that I think that the scale doesn't have to be our enemy. I think that the scale is like anything else. It's a measuring tool. But I also feel like it's just one measuring tool, right? So depending on your relationship with the scale, keep that in mind as I share these, but I want to share 4 kind of check marks you can do when you're not seeing the scale go down and weight loss is one of your goals. These 4 things that really, to me, are where I start with my clients when they tell me I'm not seeing the scale go down, but I feel like, I'm doing all of the right things. So the first thing I ask is, are you following a nutrition plan? I don't know about you, but for me, I was winging it a lot of the time. I wasn't, paying attention to what food groups I was eating, how much I was eating. I wasn't tracking what I was eating, so I didn't have any information to really look back on and be like, yeah, I was doing a good job. It was all based off of my memory. And frankly, when I'm a busy working mom, my memory is not that great. I have a lot of things stored up here, so I'm not remembering all of those things that I'm grabbing throughout the day that maybe I didn't track. So number 1 is, are you actually following some sort of nutrition workshop? We have 2 very intuitive workshops that I love. And like anything, if you follow it, it will work. So depending on what your preference is, find something that you can stick to, you can learn, and that works with your lifestyle. Number 2, how is your water? Are you drinking a ton of water? Do you have water with you everywhere all the time? I know I didn't. I was like chronically dehydrated. And I think something like 70% of North Americans are actually dehydrated. By the time we think about getting a drink of water, we're usually already thirsty. So instead, try to be proactive. I usually tell people half of their body weight in ounces is what you should be drinking as a minimum. Now, keep in mind that when you work out, you sweat more. When it's hotter out, you sweat more, so you're going to need more water. So you're going to have to adjust. It might seem like a ton of water at first. I know for me it did. Now I crave water. I love water. If I don't drink enough water, I get a headache and I feel inflamed. So water is the number 2 thing that I ask people about. Number 3 is sleep. I am a self-proclaimed night owl. I am not a morning person, or at least I told myself that for years. Like a lot of moms, would find that in the later hours of night is when I could get some alone time. It's when I could get things done. I could sit down and watch that show with the bad words in it, or I could, get some laundry done, or I could finally sit down and do something that I was enjoying, like maybe scrolling Pinterest. But then the time would get away from me, and all of a sudden it's 11, 12 o'clock. And then being at the mercy of when my children woke up, I didn't know how much sleep I was going to get, so I didn't get any consistent sleep. I understand there are stages where you aren't going to have a ton of control over your sleep. You're not going to have a ton of control over when your kids get up or if they get up in the night, but you do have some control over when you decide to go to sleep. So if you're finding that you're spending a lot of time staying up late to watch that Netflix show and you're falling into the trap of watching episode after episode after episode, maybe it's time to rework your bedtime routine so that you're getting more sleep on that other end that you can control. Number 4 is stress. Deep breath. Our bodies, if we are in that fight or flight mode, will naturally retain weight, some inflammation. Our bodies are like, I don't know what's going on. I'm not getting rid of any of this just in case. Like, it's a disaster. And that can be, like, honestly, the stress your body could be in could be as simple as doing a new workout program. Your body's not used to it yet. They're like, okay, is this like bad stress or is this good stress? I don't know. So our bodies might tend to hold on to some extra weight at that time. The same can be said if things are stressful, maybe in work or in your family life, that sort of stuff. I like for when people are actually like tracking their nutrition and those sorts of things to also track their mood and what stress levels are going on, even their cycle, if they're female, all of these things, their sleep, all of these things are indicators of what might be a bigger issue, what might be the thing that you can actually tweak and start breaking through a plateau if you've hit a plateau, or it might be the thing that starts you on a road to success. So keep in mind those 4 things. Let me know if you check all of those 4 things off, because I mean, like anything, there's another 10 things that you could add to the list, but those are the 4 that I always start with. And I usually find that one of those is what the issue is.